Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be reviewing Essence's seasonal update. So welcome back, and today we're going to be doing Essence's seasonal update review. If you want to see the Catrice seasonal update review video, that is already available on my channel. It's the previous video from this one on the same playlist that I will put in this video in. So we are going to do this the same way we did the Catrice one, so I'm going to be categorizing the products. The first category is going to be absolutely don't buy these, please stay away, these are not worth it. Then we're gonna have the meh category, products that I do feel that work out but are still not gonna be my favorites. Then the fourth category is gonna be the products that I think were good. And then on the last category are gonna be the sort of excellent products that you're gonna be most likely seeing, for example, in my end of the year favorites. If you have sort of tried any of these products, or because again the Essence long update was quite big, if there are some products that you tried that are not included in this video, then maybe comment down below what were your sort of favorites or fails. Also with this launch it was quite strange because we got the products in sort of 4 or 3 like different like sort of like launches, at least on Bouncy's website. So in the initial launch we got most of them, but then once, because these products usually have a habit that the first sort of batch of products usually sells out, at least on Bouncy's website, which is the site that I got these from. Then when they sort of restocked the product, there were a couple of other products. For example, there was I have the Bouncy blush and Bouncy highlighter in this sort of, we're gonna be talking about those ones, but they also apparently had bronzer to go with those ones. The bronzer wasn't launched, like it was like maybe on the 3rd or 4th restock, and it was a bit like strange how things were launching with this particular collection, but I still think that I did get the products that I was most interested in, so I didn't feel that I was sort of missed out on any product that I would have liked to gotten. But obviously I also don't want to be ordering like individual products from online because of the shipping time and shipping cost of just like ordering one thing. Anyway, let's start talking about the products from the sort of worst to my absolute favorite. So first, the products that I thought were like absolute please don't buy this, and this is a lesson for me: don't buy 4 products in a new product category because you never know do you actually like this. So the first product that I'm talking about are these sort of like potted, I'm gonna be seeing if I'm able to hold this. So these potted cream eyeshadows that I was very excited about these ones, and I'm actually gonna already like, I'm gonna soon, like not yet, but I'm soon gonna pop in the picture. So just based on watching this and looking how these looked in the jar, these were looking very promising. I was thinking that if this is gonna be a cream eyeshadow product that's gonna settle down on my lids so it doesn't do any creasing or anything funny, and it will still like look nice on my lids despite settling out, this is gonna be probably my favorite like go-to cream eyeshadow products. And brands can do this kind of product like, right, for example the Kiko Milano eyeshadow sticks that are also essentially a cream eyeshadow product. Those are very nice in terms of the fact that you can layer them and they settle down, they don't crease, but they still look nice on the lids and they keep their sort of like appearance. So now I'm gonna pop a picture where you're gonna see the swatches, which look great, and then you're gonna see 2 eye looks, and then unfortunately the reason why I'm not such excited about these anymore. So upon initial application and from the looks that you can see, this kind of initially, and especially as watching these, looked very nice, and I was like very excited. Great, these seem to work. I also immediately noticed that hey, they aren't doing anything funny, so when I was applying the rest of my makeup they weren't like starting to crease or anything, and I was like very thinking that okay, we might have a gem. Unfortunately, when you're gonna see in the 4th picture is that unfortunately these didn't look nice like about an hour after their like application. I have never had an eyeshadow product feeling that once they settle down that they feel that you have something cracking on your eyelids. These felt, once these settled down, very heavy, and also the fact that when these dried they just look pretty horrible on my eyelids. I did use one of these shades also as sort of an eyeshadow base to my powder shadow. I think if you apply a very thin base, these could be like these could work, but then again, then I could use just any of my powder eyeshadows as a base. So I don't think like, I just don't think these like at the end of the, like as I said, within an hour of application, these just didn't look nice anymore. They didn't feel nice on my lids, and I will be at first to admit, like I am someone in my 30s, obviously my eyelids aren't as smooth as they used to be. It could be that if you are someone younger than me who has a smoother eyelids, maybe if you have super oily eyelids, this could still be a great product, but for me, with my sort of skin type and how my skin currently is just like, these were very promising, and you can see from the looks that you can get very nice basic look with this one, and I could see that there's a market for this one, but just with that, if you want to get a full-on opaque eye looks with this one, which I think is something that I should be able to expect from a product like this one, it just didn't turn out looking nice. So unfortunately, what is probably gonna happen with these ones, I am gonna be decluttering these after the video, because I know that I'm not gonna be using this one, and next time I see a new kind of eye formula that I want to try, I'm not gonna buy out 4 shades, because I think if I would have just gone initially and bought 1 shade, and I would have been coming into the same conclusion that I came out after using the 4 ones, we could have saved some money and probably saved the environment in the fact that I'm not going to be now trying out basically for eye products that are almost like full of product. I really wanted to like these ones, but unfortunately these weren't it. But I think again, if you have very smooth eyelids and maybe if you don't want to use this as a very opaque layer and as such, maybe these could work out, but for me, unfortunately, these were a fail, and I will never be like reaching out for these again, because just wearing these was such an unpleasant experience. Similarly, what was a very unpleasant experience was this one. So this was the new Lash Princess mascara that was added within the line. So this is a waterproof variation, and this is the long curl mascara. I'm first gonna show the one. So this is a bit like the L'Oreal telescopic mascara. It has a very skinny wand. I was also very excited initially about this one because I was thinking that okay, it's a waterproof mascara, and my experience with waterproof mascaras, they haven't been like bad per se. I know they can be a bit difficult to get off, but I like the ones that I have tried a couple from L'Oreal, those have been pretty good. And initially when I applied this, I'm not gonna show the picture of this one when I had just applied it and when it looked the best. So when you kind of look at the picture and think that okay, that actually kind of looks nice. And initially when I applied this, I was thinking that yeah, okay, this is looking great. It's giving quite a lot of lift. You got quite a lot of like volume and length, and it was like doing all the things. It was separating. It was looking kind of good. I think I had just applied my last step of my makeup routine, which is usually applying my lip products. And it was when I was applying my lip products, I was looking in my makeup mirror, I was thinking that hey, I just applied my mascara, but why are my lashes looking like they have weighed down? And then I sort of went and applied another layer of the mascara thinking that it might help, but actually it was then that I realized that it's the mascara formula that is weighing down my lashes. And I do have to say, there hasn't been a lot of mascara formulas that have like weighed down my lashes as heavily as this one did. So that's the like first issue. So even though with initial application it looked like this was giving a lot of volume and lifting and separation, but because it weighed down my lashes so heavily, it almost looked like I didn't have mascara at all, or that I had a very bad mascara that didn't do anything with my lashes because it weighed them down so heavily. Second issue I had with this one was that this is absolutely terrible to get off. Like, as I said, I have tried waterproof mascaras, but usually with an oil-based cleanser I have been able to get those off. With this one, like, I tried a lot of things. I tried oil-based cleanser, I tried my cleansing balm, I tried my sort of like CeraVe makeup cleanser that usually gets through like almost all kinds of makeup products. I even went with after shower, I went with a eye makeup room or specific like product, and still I still had like chunks of mascara, especially at the end of my lash line, and I still like had a couple of days after like sort of washing this off, I still had like a chunk of the mascara, and it was just like very almost like to the point that it was painful because I was obviously trying to get the like formula off, and obviously it was trying to irritate my eyes of using so much like so many different products trying to get this off. So please stay away from this one. This it weighs down your lashes. It doesn't like the formula. It is a bit sticky the more you try to like apply it, and especially getting this one off, it's like almost impossible, and especially if you have very sensitive eyes, you are probably not gonna like dealing with this one. So considering that the Lash Princess mascaras, usually I've been liking them, it's very disappointing, and I did have quite high expectation for this one, but for me, as I said, this is another failure in terms of this particular seasonal update. Okay, so these are products that I do feel work out, but they aren't the, how should I say, there were still some things that I was kind of thinking that yeah, that works out, but it's still not maybe my favorite. First one is this one, which I think was one of the things that I was most excited about. So this is the Soft Touch blush, and this is basically duping the, actually I have to like dupe. So basically it's duping the Rare Beauty, these Bouncy Rare Beauty blushes, and they did came out with, initially there was like only one shade available, but I think later on they did release more shades. So mine is in the shade, what was this one? This is in the shade 10 Antique Rose, and I do think as a shade I was quite excited about this one because I was thinking that it's a quite sort of rosy, orangey shade. This is the blush I'm wearing today. The light is probably washing it a bit, but I do think it's looking quite okay. Why this is in the meh category, I don't know what I was expecting of this formula, because this was actually now the first Bouncy blush that I'm trying. I'm actually like doing this in the wrong way because I'm now having the Real Beauty blush in my rotation. But this is the first like variation of this kind of formula. I have also the newest Makeup Revolution Bouncy blush in the similar format that is duping the Real Beauty one. So we're gonna be having at the end of my sort of once I tried the Real Beauty one, the Revolution one, then I think I'm gonna be like an expert in these Bouncy blushes. Why this is the meh category? I just don't think this is. It feels a bit dry to pick up with a brush, and I do feel that I did have to work a bit to get this to work on my cheek. It could be that because this is an inexpensive formula, I can now do a bit of comparison because I've tried the Rare Beauty one a couple of times. The Rare Beauty one is easier definitely to pick up with a brush compared to this one, and I feel that with that one you necessarily don't have to work so much as with this one. Is this, I think, still something that if you want to pick this up from a drugstore, it's gonna work? Yes, it's gonna work, and I do think that once you do build this, this is quite of a punchy blush. This goes to the category of blushes that if you like a more matte leaning, punchier blush shade, then this is probably gonna be good. But for me, this was a bit of a... Well, I didn't know what to expect. As I said, this is the first time of me trying a blush in this sort of formula variation, but this is just like... I think this is going to be another of those products that are not going to be sticking in my collection, because I do think that now, just having been trying now the sort of original product this is duping, this just doesn't quite match maybe the things that I want from my blushes. But I think you are still able to get this one to work, and the end result is going to be a very punchy matte leaning. But with this one, it's a bit harder to pick and a bit harder to work with than maybe what I would like. Then the lip product that I'm actually also currently wearing are one of the shades. So I bought, or actually I only ordered one, but they put a second shade in my order, so I basically got one shade free. So these are the Hydra lip tints, and I have the shades, which were this one. This is the one that I'm wearing, so this is the 01 blushing nude, so this is the one that's on my lips, and the second one that I actually did pay for, so this is the 02 vintage rose, so this is the pinkier one. You're gonna be seeing now the swatches of this one, and also with the previous blush swatch I should have said there was also the highlighter. We're going to be talking about the highlighter a bit later in this video, but now the lip tints are on the same swatches, and as I said, the nude one is on my lips. This is definitely, I'd say, a better variation than their sort of lip tint they had previously. So Essence used to have a lip tint in a clear, more like clear packaging, but that one was something that the gloss layer, it wore quite quickly and it got drying pretty quickly. With these ones, the gloss layer does last a bit longer. If you wear this on a longer day, because it's essentially still a tint, you are going to be feeling a bit dry feeling on your lips at the end of the day. So it's not, the drying feeling is still going to be there, but the gloss does last longer, so it's a bit more comfortable to wear for a longer time. Because lip tints are essentially meant to be a tint, I'm not actually critiquing the drying factor too much. Why these are in the meh and not in the good category is probably because the nude shade that I am wearing, so this shade is bit, it wears off a bit patchy. In some days it wore quite like nicely, but in some days I saw that this was a bit patchy, so I did have to make sure once I ate something specifically that I had to do the check on mirror that how my lip product was looking, because as I said, this did work a bit patchy. The pinkier shade, this didn't wear off patchy, but this is a bit more streaky to apply, so you have to do a bit more finicking to get this look evenly on the lips. So these, in terms of formulations, aren't perfect, but for drugstore, if you're interested in lip tints and something that, especially that are maybe a bit hydrating, a bit longer, I think these are still an okay option. But in terms of formulas, these do have some points of improvement, I think. But still, I think they do what lip tints essentially kind of meant to do. I do think the shade range of this was pretty nice. It was sort of pinkish, neutral leaning range, which I think was quite good, because usually with these lip tints, especially if you buy some Asian brands, they can be quite red heavy in terms of shade range. I did like that we have quite a lot of neutral and pink colors in this range. So this again is a matte product. I could also do without these, but I can work with these. I do think once you do get these on your lips, the end result is quite okay, but they are just like minor things that we could still maybe improve with this particular formula. Going to the good products. So these are good products. still maybe not something I'm gonna say like rave at the end of the year, or that I'm gonna be remembering maybe next year that, oh, that was such a great product, but these are products that I do think work, and these are actually both base products, so this is a bit good because I have tried some Essence base products before and the luck hasn't always been that good. So first one, the foundation that I'm wearing, so this is the Brighten Up Cushion Foundation. Mine is in the shade 02 Ivory, so this is the foundation that I'm wearing. It's a nice lighter coverage foundation, not a full coverage product, and we have been having a bit more humid weather, which is strange. Usually during fall time we don't have this humid weather, so because it's been more humid, this has been getting a bit glowy. I do use a powder. I do say that if you want to extend the wear of this one, use powder with it, because I have noticed that without powder this does habit of like maybe wearing off a bit quicker. But I think for a drugstore cushion foundation, this isn't actually a bad option, especially if you like your more like sort of lighter coverage products. I'm not the like biggest fan of cushion foundations because I just like maybe more the like traditional foundation in terms of how much easier they are to build. But I think if you're bowling on a budget and you are able to find a shade, because just like with other Essence products, even though this might have a bit deeper shades, but usually in stores they unfortunately have the lighter shades, but if you're able to find your shades within this line, because Essence's shades tend to run a bit on the lighter side, I think this would be worth to try. Like, I've been liking this surprisingly a lot, and as I said, I'm not a fan of like cushion foundation, but with this one, I'd say actually it's quite nice. So yeah, I would recommend this one if you're into cushion foundations. Then is a product that they have redone, so this is the Camouflage Plus Concealer. I have tried the previous variation of this one, and this is essentially a very heavy matte concealer. What are they advertising this is supposed to be doing? New packaging within... so okay, they're saying that the new packaging has minus 40% less plastic. I would very much like to see how they are basing this claim. And they have apparently 60% more filling, so apparently they're saying that this has like more product in it than the previous concealer, so that's interesting. This still has the very odd scent that the previous variation of this concealer had. I think that if you're looking a matte concealer and in the drugstore, and again with the sort of note that the shades that are especially available in store can be quite light, but this is again okay. In terms of like what my skin prefers, I would still prefer maybe a bit more like hydrating concealer, but this isn't the sort of dry matte concealer that's gonna look like cracky or very drying under your eyes. This actually looks quite okay even under my eyes, that these days you tend to need a bit more moisture on the skin. So if you're looking for a matte concealer at the drugstore that isn't like that doesn't look super drying, this could be a good option. And it is like full coverage like this. If you are looking something medium to lighter coverage, then I would not get this one. Then I think Essence has other more lighter coverage concealers on their line, but for a more full coverage moment at a drugstore, this is again a good option, especially considering the price point of this one. Lastly, we had one very exceptional product, and considering that I didn't like the blush that much, I'm a bit surprised that I'm liking the highlighter. So this is the Soft Touch highlighter. I'm gonna be seeing the same swatch picture because I swatched this and the highlighter in the sort of same like photo. So mine is looks a bit damaged because unfortunately this did suffer in the transport, but because it's more of this sort of mushy formula, you could just push this back in together. So this got to be one of the smoothest highlighters that I have tried during this year. That's saying a lot. The packaging of this is cheap AF, but we are gonna ignore that because for the price point, if you're looking for a nice smooth highlighter that gives this sort of blinding effect and is not like, and doesn't do the like individual sparkles that can look texturizing on, especially someone like me who already has texture on their cheekbones already, this is an excellent option. This is like, I'm very surprised that something like this exists on drugstore. I'm also surprised that why haven't Rare Beauty or any of the other high-end brands that are doing these sort of bouncy blushes, why haven't they done a highlighter variation? Because Essence, I think, was now... It could be that some other brand has indeed done a sort of highlighter in this variation, but this is... Like, this beats a lot of the, like, other powder highlighters that I have had, and also, like, the liquid highlighters that I said that tend to have this sort of similar, very, like, nice, glowy effect that still looks very smooth on the cheekbones. Not still sure again how well the highlighter is showing in my particular lighting conditions, but still very beautiful. And if you've been looking for a nice highlighter at a drugstore that doesn't texturize your cheekbones, I would like get this one. Like get this one if you are someone like, if you aren't someone like me who has tons of highlighters, maybe get several shades of this one. The shade range of this one, I think there was like 4 shades altogether available. There isn't like anything exciting in terms of shade range with this one, but I don't care because these days I tend to prefer more traditional highlighter shades altogether. Maybe later they could add some, because we have seen this year the highlighters have had a moment and we have seen more colorful highlighters again, so maybe if this gets good reviews and good sales, maybe we could see especially because I'm a fan who always likes a good pink leaning highlighter, then something pink, maybe a cool tone purple that NYX has on their line. Like, I hope they're gonna be doing more with this particular highlighting range, because I think for drugstore formulations, it's exceptional. The packaging is very cheap. Again, I don't think this is gonna last that long, but I will still try to preserve this as best as I can, because I do think this is gonna be absolutely one of my favorite highlighters in terms of the sort of formulas that I've tried doing this year. That was sort of my review of Essence's seasonal update. Comment down below, as I said in the beginning, if you have tried different products than I did, what were your sort of favorites, or if you have tried some of these products, what were your sort of opinions about them. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from our future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog on Instagram. I hope I can see you in another video. Bye bye!